Hello, this is Camnet TV Main News. I'm your anchor, Namwinga Mwinga. We now look at the news headlines. Shantembo challenges President Edgar Lungu and Hakainde Hichilema to explain their source of wealth. Government orders for the immediate removal of settlers in Lusenga Park. Zambia records 3 COVID-19 deaths in the last 24 hours. And in international news, global coronavirus cases exceed 25 million. In sports news, mixed results for Chipolopolo Legion on foreign soils. We now take a break. We're back shortly for more news after this.
Msika is here. We have you all covered with just 150 kwacha. You can advertise every day from 17 hours to 18 hours. For a 30-second ad, get the benefit of selling your products and services on Msika. For more details, call our marketing department on +260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467. Email us on info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you a filmmaker? Well, you are exactly what we're looking for.
Camnet TV is calling on local filmmakers. For more details,
You can visit our headquarters in Ibex Hill next to Hilltop Hospital.
contact us on 0972 277467 or
0962 444 726. Camnet TV.
not just another channel.
And now the news in detail. A Livingstone-based clergyman, Boston Simumba, has called on the Zambian government to pay attention to issues affecting the nation, such as rising unemployment and high cost of living. Reverend Simumba, who is a priest in charge of the Christian Harvest Church, says it is important for the government to stop blaming everything on the coronavirus and work at addressing the economy, which he says has been poor even before the pandemic spread to Zambia. He has further advised the church to desist from entertaining politicians at the altar, saying this was compromising the stance of the church on giving proper advice on issues affecting the Zambians. Reverend Simumba was speaking when he featured on Radio Musotunia's Zambians for Unity, Peace and Development program, which looked at the role of the church in development in Livingstone. And speaking at the same program, ZUPED Vice President Ronnie Jere says there is nothing wrong for the church to advise government where necessary, given the council is not partisan and malicious. Mr. Jere says this is so because some once respected church leaders have become partisan to a level where they have publicly shown their political colors, a move he says is not right. Here's a report.
Business is very difficult. Of course, we may try to hide in the name of COVID-19, but even before that, so as a church, for it to thrive well with our church members, if you have not been employed, they must be doing business. When you are doing something, you won't have this issue of being a cadre. You go for the whole day, they just give you 20 kwacha. And you're able to use the abusive language over the 20 kwacha. That's aside. And then also at the church, we demand the equitable distribution of wealth or resources, because our taxes we pay, we contribute as well. So it has to be done equity, and also gender equality, acceptance of the rights of others. The fact that we differ in opinion does not mean that we are enemies. The politician, when they are doing the election, they want to come and campaign in the church. They come and kneel down, not see me, but in their hearts, they are standing.
And you allow them as a church?
Probably from that segment, we may say yes and no, depending where they have been.
We are told that you receive brown envelopes and you also allow them as a church. And some people have accused you as a church being biased and saying you are divided also as a church. You don't speak with one.
That's subjectivity. If one is called this one a Zambian is the drug dealer in drug trafficking, doesn't mean that all Zambians are drug trafficking.
Starting last week, we've seen some very influential leaders coming on TV and propagating messages that you can tell to say these people are advocating for regime change. You get what I'm saying? Which is very wrong. You know, it is completely wrong. You know, a man of God or a person that is seen to be a person that professes peace and you know, wants to bring people together should not come out in the open to show that they are propagating or advocating for regime change. For a name
Are you trying us to say the church also has contributed to the political intolerance that we have in our country?
Individuals in the church, like he has said, some individuals in the church who hide in the name of being preachers or men of God.
Chief Katumba of the Chewa speaking people in Sinda district of Eastern Province has commended government for delivering farming inputs on time ahead of the 2020-2021 farming season. Speaking when Area Investment Limited General Manager Martin Chai Katisha paid a courtesy call on him, the traditional leader said the early delivery of fertilizer under the Farmer Input Support Program FISP will help farmers plan adequately. More in this report.
Area Investments Limited General Manager Martin Chaikatsha outlined what his institution has done on the delivery of inputs during a courtesy call paid on the traditional leader.
Tumechaka monga na last year fertilizers yabwera musanga maningi August no shed yonse yajazula no fertilizer elimu so na mao yakuti mauze na mfumo ki but Tuesday next week, my farmers were 10. Okay, our president, Palitan Dizoli, Yapti, Teresa, Sangam, and Vula ili Putari. I think Muzambi, we can look Chitika, Mbuyo, Pamina Choka, Yonse, Mabura, Moche, but Pamani, September, Nimpang, Zamene, Zaseven, and government. Our president was pushing our ningati perekani watengelee
so ngati fertilizer yachebwa mbewu yachebwa kuti wafikire kutaga wanisemu kutazi kuti imbewu nikatlepo tukapela nitusoya olo tusunflower ama vutika so chifuata wachebwa kwa fertilizer tima tandizikadi kwa mangati fertilizer so yachebwa tima pesa kuti tipeza mavuto kuti tumita tuchatapo bzala mbewu zina fertilizer yebwera basi pesa tuminda tujatagawanisa mbewu zina so yapa ine sinikamba kwambiri ningofuna teni yanike kuboma kumene utichitira fwa situsowa chakudya situvutika kwambiri malilifu chifukwa cha thandizo imene boma ili upeleka ma fertilizer tere matakhaliwa chokera kumbuyo kuyamba kumva dzina kuti tipita Olanda fertilizer in September.
Later, Chief Katumba showed Mr. Chaikatsha his 15 acres banana plantation and advised farmers to diversify their farming in order to earn more revenue.
Utilufuna alimi amene wazipeleka kuti nawonso kuno kuchifidomu agwepo pa ulimi mwa kuti mwina pambana wembekeza pa ukolola kamozi pa chaka so tinapeza kuti chili bwino upeza ulimi wina wachidule monga umene mwaonera.
Government targets to ensure that every farmer receives inputs on time under FISP ahead of the 2020-2021 farming season. Sylvester Chimba reporting for the news in Sinda District, Eastern Province.
The Zambian government has ordered for the immediate eviction of families that have settled in the Lusenga National Park in Kawambwa district of Luapula province. Minister in charge of tourism, Ronald Chitotela, believes that the settlers who claim to be involved in farming may be the ones involved in poaching of animals in the park. Mr. Chitotela has since directed the government system in the district to ensure that the order is enforced forthwith. The tourism minister says government is strongly worried over the continued depletion of animals in the Lusenga National Park through poaching. Mr. Chitotela has since warned poachers to count their days on their fingers, stating that once caught, the long arm of the law will be minted on them. Mr. Chitotela says Zambians must start developing a mentality of owning their own national assets, including animals, as opposed to killing them at will.
It's important that the northern part of Zambia, there's no way children from the northern part of Zambia should travel to the southern part of Zambia for them to see an elephant, for them to see a buffalo. No, and I was admiring the plains, and I said, you know, you are both the wetland and mainland. So you can have a lot of species that can do well in the mainland, and those that can do well also in the wetland. So it's an eye opener for me to see and appreciate what we need to do to revamp Rusenga National Park. Amazon require conducive environment, water, and once those are done, the peace environment that they can live in harmony and they are not poached. There's water and there's constant patrol. I want to emphasize, we need to change. We need to change the way we do things, and I must emphasize, we must send a strong message to the poachers. A very strong message that if we find one, in fact, but this, you need to let me know. Work with the community to mobilize a clean-up campaign for those that may be keeping their man-made guns in their homes, muzzle loaders, because those are the danger to society. So if we begin by that, those that will find, we don't need to be lenient. We must make sure that the law takes its course. Within our officers to tell them that they are here for conservation, not to hate the poachers. That message must be very strong, and even to the poachers that you are caught, you'll be responsible and you stand alone in court.
Meanwhile, Luapula Province Senior Warder Agnes Shawa has told the minister that her troops have managed to disarm and recover various weapons from poachers during operations. Mrs. Shawa explains that Rusenga Park, being closer to the Democratic Republic of Congo, several firearms from the country have been finding their way into Zambia, which are later used for poaching.
We retrieve from poachers in this area. Not just only muzzleloaders. Sometimes we are able to retrieve even military firearms like AK-47 rifles. And this is because of the proximity of this park
to DRC.
We have an infiltration of some firearms from that country.
Okay.
Yeah, because of whatever has been happening, especially so in the past, we have retrieved such firearms in the park.
Mumbwa Central Member of Parliament Credo Nanjua has urged traditional leaders in his constituency and beyond to take a leading role in ensuring that all eligible subjects obtain green national registration cards in the ongoing mobile issuance of the cards. Addressing headmen and headwomen under Chief Mumba of Mumbwa, the area lawmaker said the Green National Registration Card is a mark of national identity, hence the need for traditional leaders to ensure that all eligible people have an opportunity to have it. He appealed to the Traditional Council to assist the applicants with the necessary documents, such as birth records, in the absence of a Ministry of Health birth record. More in this report. Hundreds of headmen and women under Chief Mumbwa of Mumbwa District have been urged to take a leading role in encouraging and ensuring that all eligible subjects obtain Green National Registration cards before and during the mobile issuance of the cards.
Weno mwaga balale mbesha ma NRC National Registration Cards. Programu ya goguno gumumbwa na Central Province inatadika mu 1 October. September niti gatarige bana kubweza mareji kwamba batarige kuyita momo amana mazuba mashonto ngu 1 month buyo 1 month momu muri babwene baba mareji mbu bagita balawa nyagwiza ko guno bakala buli 2 days bakosora abana bamana bashita buti baya bana besuta baka reji kintuji mwijiri important Vana kulange nchito mwana wala sandareji next year kuli kuvota marriage ala sebeza kwamba weze passport mwana wala sandareji
Addressing the traditional leaders, Mumbwa UPND Member of Parliament Credo Nanjua pledged to contribute 8,000 kwacha towards the construction of the teachers' houses at Kabwanga School in the chiefdom.
So, twaromba kwamba tuyane oswe hila amwenu bahali mutu kwa kwamba tibana mumihimu tubere busuba na utatera ati kuri batalika ba marriage nanga adanida nanga ajikolo nanga ajibira at least bana bosu tabashita mo prize kwamba bashite buti bende bagabweze shikosole okulya kuboma balakosola up to 30 per day kimwiji ndati machine iri kwire so bana banji bayina shikosole bamwe badigwete shikosole bati shikosole shaka himina kwamba tibabweze shikosole ngo process bati hingu chance yesu tonse kwamba bana ubaka sowa bayane marriage inchito kwamba twijite tulehi kwamba titokwata na ntomwi mumi hinu bahali amwamwe mwakwata koluba hondu mujita oso aswetu malidazi asutulagwitamo.
Reporting for Camnet Television in Lusaka, Zambia, Namwenga Mwenga. The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has urged chiefs in Mwansabombwe and Lukasha constituencies to help create peace during the ongoing by-elections and after the elections. Addressing chiefs in both Mwansabombwe and Lukasha constituency, ECZ Commissioner Emily Sikazwe called on traditional leaders to use their influence on subjects to create an environment for peaceful elections. Commissioner Sikazwe has further encouraged the traditional leaders to allow all participating political parties and their candidates to campaign freely in their jurisdictions. She has meanwhile encouraged the chiefs to ensure that the young people in their chiefdoms obtain green national registration cards and in turn register as voters so as they can participate in the 2021 general elections. We now take our first set of commercials. We'll be back shortly for more news. Stay tuned.
I have used Oracle Pure Glycerin for 2 years now. It has really worked for me. It has cleared all the black spots on my face. It has restored my skin beauty. It also smoothens the skin. Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for perfect skin. If it's not Oracle Glycerin, then it's not Pure Glycerin.
Stay home, stay safe. Times have changed. With the advent of the coronavirus, Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company would like to advise its esteemed customers to avoid visiting crowded places. You don't have to move to pay your water bill. You can do it in the convenience of your home. You can pay your water bills through Zanaco Zapit, Stanbic Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and FNB. You can also use Airtel, MTN, and Zamtel Kwacha mobile money transfer services. For any inquiries to report a fault, please contact our customer service on +260 211 251 571, +260 975 618 618, and toll-free line 5957, Zamtel only. You can also simply email customerservice@lwsc.com. This public announcement is brought to you by the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company. Water is life. Sanitation is health.
You're still watching Camnet TV. Camnet, not just another channel. And now the rest of the news. Despite public perception that COVID-19 is not real in Zambia, government has continued to maintain that the disease is real and continues to claim lives. During the daily COVID-19 update Sunday mornings, Health Minister Chitalo Chilufya announces that in the last 24 hours, Zambia has recorded 3 facility deaths at Levi Mwanawasa Isolation Facility. Dr. Chilufya explains that all the victims were in the male ward. He tells the nation that the deceased are aged 46, 51, 61 years old, bringing the cumulative number of deaths linked with COVID-19 to 287. Meanwhile, the health minister has informed the nation that in the last 24 hours, Zambia has recorded 123 new cases of COVID-19 out of 1,400 1,046 tests done, while recoveries stand at 362. Dr. Chilufya says the cumulative number of COVID-19 cases in the country now stands at 12,025 and 11,454 recoveries.
In the last 24 hours, we recorded again 123 cases of COVID-19 out of 1,046 tests that we conducted. Unfortunately, the last 24 hours also recorded 3 deaths, 3 facility deaths in the Levi Manawasa COVID facility. And what has been troublesome is that 2 of these deaths involved young, relatively young people without comorbidities, but just presented with acute respiratory distress syndrome and were pure COVID deaths. Now, that is a difficult prognostic indicator in the evolution of the epidemic and should alert us to the fact that the disease is still there and may be worsening, and we're going to see sicker patients in our facilities. As we speak today, Levi Manawasa now has 30 patients admitted to that facility, and out of these 30, 15 are on oxygen, 4 are critical and require intensive care therapy. Outside Lusaka, the other provinces, we have recorded 20 patients in our admission facilities, out of which 9 are on oxygen. On a high, 362 patients have been discharged from our various facilities, and that brings our total number of recoveries to 11,454. When we look at the cumulative numbers, after the 123 cases, we now have a cumulative number of 12,025 cases of COVID-19, and out of these, 11,454 have recovered. And with the 3 deaths, 287 deaths, out of which 95 are pure COVID deaths, and the rest are COVID-related deaths. A glimpse into the global picture sees that we have 25,169,549 cases of COVID-19, with 846,778 deaths, while 17,509,305 have recovered.
The Opposition Patriots for Economic Progress, PEP, has urged Opposition United Party for National Development, UPND President Hakainde Hichilema not to tire in explaining his involvement in the privatization process. PEP President Sean Temple says it is his party's considered view that Mr. Hichilema has already previously answered questions regarding the source of his wealth. Then he must forgive the Zambian people for having a short memory, but challenges him to answer the same question again. According to him, the recent allegations leveled against Mr. Hichilema by the then Minister of Finance, Edith Nawakwi, opens fresh questions which needs to be answered.
As Patriots for Economic Progress, we have noted the debate that has been raging across the country in the past couple of days regarding allegations that were leveled against the UPND President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, by the FDD President, Honorable Edith Nawakwi, regarding the role that Mr. Hichilema played during Zambia's privatization, and allegations that he acted in an improper manner during the discharge of his duties during that time. Our view is that these allegations are very serious, given the fact that they are not being raised by any ordinary Zambian, but they are being raised by a Zambian who at that particular time was Minister of Finance, and therefore had first-hand knowledge of what was going on, what transpired. And in view of this position, we believe that Mr. Hichilema needs to substantively address the allegations that were raised and basically give a detailed account of what his version of events is, as opposed to simply making counter accusations or indeed responding using Facebook or Twitter memes. We believe these allegations deserve a more detailed response from Mr. Hichilema.
Teachers at Kangombe Primary School in Kasempa district have deserted the only staff house at the school. Reasons for the desertion are not yet known. I beg your pardon. Reasons for the desertion are not yet known, but Kamatete Ward Councillor Mushitala Mukanda says he will make recommendations to school authorities in the district to transfer teachers refusing to occupy the house. Mr. Mukanda has expressed concern with the fact that most teachers cry for accommodation but are now refusing to occupy a house which is in good condition. The teachers have instead opted to stay in Kasempa town, which is about 4 to 5 kilometers away from school.
Here where we are standing is a staff house for Kangombe Primary School. But unfortunately, it hasn't been occupied for the recent past due to unknown reasons. Despite having complaints that we don't have enough houses for the same school, this house is in good condition and it hasn't been occupied for any other reason. And I'm yet to make follow-ups with the DEBs so that I can know exactly the reasons why this house is not being occupied by teachers. They are covering a distance of not less than 4 kilometers to 5 kilometers from the central business district, which is CBD, where they are housing themselves. And in most cases, since it is rain season, they fail to come in time, because if I told somebody is driving and then they get stuck with their car on their way to the school, they fail to come in time. So that has negatively affected the learning of our pupils at our primary school, which is Kangombe.
The Opposition United Party for National Development, UPND, has maintained its accusation on the ruling Patriotic Front of buying national registration cards, NRCs and voters' cards from members of the public. UPND officials at district and provincial levels in Lusaka says the PF are using desperate tactics of vote buying even before the 2021 elections, a clear sign that they are panicking. But Patriotic Front PF National Youth Chairman Kelvin Sampa says it is wishful thinking by the UPND to allege that the PF is buying NRCs when not. Mr. Sampa says such allegations may land certain people in prison if they can't substantiate their claims. Meanwhile, some suspected 75 PF members of Meanwhile, some suspected 75 PF members of Chimanja Ward in Chilanga District have defected from their party to the opposition UPND. We have more in this report. The UPND in Chilanga District have today welcomed 93 youths joining the party. 75 have defected from the ruling Patriotic Front, while 20 have just become members of the Opposition United Party for National Development, UPND. The defectors say they have left the ruling party on grounds that they were allegedly approached by some unknown people who were offering them 1,600 kwacha each in exchange for an NRC number and voters' cards. The youths have since accused the PF of using such propaganda to rig the 2021 general elections. UPND National Youth Secretary Trevor Mwinde urged all youths countrywide to avoid giving NRCs and voters' cards to those unknown people who have been suspected of being affiliated with the Patriotic Front.
As youths, mwatifutisa, tachimvera, timkamba yesu wantu wakabati mulibita, ndiwe woka lipa. Ungankare kawala le waku bela useka seka hehehehe. Basi eni hehe. Vitu vene mulase benzera, ungankare. But in no time, my youth, Zambians are looking for development. Exactly. Sitting to chop for make a zewa, muno mucharo, muni gold mine. Yes. Muno mucharo, muni copper mine. Vyarovina ngumonga Dubai palipe mine roimoz. But because of correct leadership, banako anza kuchita chani, kuchita develop charo chao. Manje muno isitikaziri ila chabe, lionse tili ila chabe, munga tina maliro every day.
We want the youths of Chilanga district to know that they have been cheated for too long. There's only one more year to go. The PF are now coming with all these handouts, but we need to wake up and you need to know that they are just fooling you and they are cheating you. So now is time for the youth to take up what belongs to them.
Refuting the allegations, PF National Youth Chairman Kelvin Sampa says he is not aware of those people as well as the source of that money. Mr. Sampa says what the UPND is doing is clear political propaganda coming out of desperation that could eventually lead to court. He says Zambians should report those people who are carrying out the alleged exercise to police, as it is a criminal offense at a time Zambia is facing serious economic problems.
Well, one thing I must tell you is that I don't think people are being honest enough to state what they are claiming. Because for me, I'm not aware of anything that has happened with regards to people being given money and buying off people. Government has got its own role of playing, affecting its performance. And if government is going to help out general citizens, I don't think we can all be justified or condemning that. I'm not aware of anything of that nature where money is being given to people and buying them off over NRC. I don't think that is achievable. If you look at the population of this country, how much is government going to really spend to be paying people over NRCs? No.
Reporting for Camnet Television in Lusaka, Zambia, Namwenga Mwenga. We now take a break. More news coming up.
To create a positive difference in people's lives, one must first understand the way people live. At Savenda, we're here for our community, our partners, and our future, as a nation and as a continent.
Back in 1997, we decided we were going to create this family journey into a bigger opportunity, and created a business called Savenda, which meant save nations to develop Africa.
It's always important to give back to the people. The government cannot do everything, but as business entities, we'll be able to reach a lot of people.
From our humble beginnings in the telecoms and mining sectors to our work in energy and development projects, we know how important it is to be true to our roots.
Our services have to be diversified so that we don't depend on one income stream. Back in the village, I was growing up hunting and doing everything that a village boy would like to do. When you're hunting, you don't depend on one trap, for example. You have to have many traps. So those survival skills brought into the business created opportunities that we learned from a young age that you can't survive with just one product. Savenda Group involves Savenda Management, which is a consulting, Savenda Express, which is a corporate branding company, Savenda Electric, which is a manufacturer of energy-saving bulbs, Savenda General Insurance, which is a general insurance company, Savenda Fresh Produce, Cyber Africa, which is a center for just dealing with cyber security.
Now, Savenda is combining local knowledge with international expertise. It's time to be a part of Zambia's rising success and Africa's exciting future.
We are a gateway into Africa, and now we are praying with global companies who are coming to Zambia for opportunities and to look for companies that are homegrown, and we are proud to be one of those.
Welcome back, and now in international news. Global coronavirus cases surged past 25 million, according to Johns Hopkins University's tally, as deaths exceed 8,402, tally exceeding 8,000. India's health ministry announced on Sunday that at least 78,761 new infections in 24 hours, setting a new daily record worldwide. More than 24 million people around the world have been diagnosed with the coronavirus, and 16.4 million have recovered. Friends and family gathered on Sunday morning to pay tribute to Thompson Meka Lebogang Kitsane, but there was some drama during the memorial service when his sister made shocking claims that the wife to the deceased sneaked another man in their matrimonial house. We monitored South African's ENCA for more in this story.
Lebogang Kitsane, the man behind South Africa's ostentatious tombstone designs, has been described as an innovative and creative businessman. Bataung legacy tombstones are renowned across Africa for their flamboyancy. They were used for the graves of many well-known personalities, including Joe Mafele, Mandoza, Robbie Malinga, Kwaito star Senyaka, soccer player John Shoes Moshweo, and boxer Baby Jake Matlala. Kitsane died on Thursday from renal failure. ENCA's Sipamandla Goge attended his memorial service.
A pioneer who changed the tombstone and statue industry in South Africa. That's how Lebogang Kitsane is being remembered. His children have described him as a devoted and loving father.
Thank you for your unconditional, loud, and unwavering love. Thank you for feeling like the sun. You were warm, energetic, and so comforting.
His friends say he was a hustler.
He was a revolutionary. He was a visionary. He was a great man. And I think most of all, he was a believer.
This man made funerals trend. This man made what you and I just look as granite and something as morbid, and made it to be a shining example.
Those looking after his business empire are calling him a true entrepreneur.
Mr. K was a very strategic thinker, a visionary, who was brilliant, innovative, and creative. As such, he contributed much to the tombstone industry.
Eguruleni Mayor Mzwandile Masinas also paid tribute to his childhood friend.
He defied all the odds in the business world, and he changed and revolutionized the tombstone industry.
But there was some drama during the memorial service when his sister made these shocking claims.
Lebogang was in pain. It turns out his wife had brought a man into the house. Please, don't you dare.
That's it. That's it. Enough.
She brought a man into my brother's house. She brought a man into my brother's house.
Kitsane, who once said he wanted to be remembered as the Steve Jobs of tombstones, will be laid to rest on Tuesday. Sipamandla Goke, Johannesburg.
We now look at the sports news. Chipolopolo players abroad experienced mixed results for their clubs during the Saturday action. 2019-2020 season Golden Boot winner Mwapem Sonda's Black Leopards lost 1-0 in Amazulu and will need to grind out some results in the last two fixtures against Bidvest, Wits and Mamelodi Sundowns if they are to be assured of PSL stay next season. Msonda retained his captaincy role in the squad. Elsewhere in Poland, midfielder Lubambo Msonda played 58 minutes as Slak Wrocław made it 2 wins in as many games when they trashed Wisla Krakow 3-1 in the 2020-2021 Ekstralasa League. The win sees them in joint first place with Gornik Zaze. In Russia, midfielder Klings Kangwa put in a decent shift and provided an assist for Daniel Klusevic in Arsenal Tula's 2-1 loss to Spartak Moscow in Russian Premier League. Evans Kangwa played 68 minutes and was replaced by fellow Zambians Lamek Banda, who played the remainder of the game. We've now come to the end of Camnet TV main news, a recap of the top stories. Sean Tembo challenges President Lungu and Hakainde Hichilema to explain their source of wealth. Government orders for the immediate removal of settlers in Lusenga Park. Zambia records 3 COVID-19 deaths in the last 24 hours. In international news, global coronavirus cases exceed 25 million. In sports news, mixed results for Chipolopolo Legion on foreign soils. Thank you so much for having been with us. This has been Namwenga Mwenga. Until next time, good evening and God bless you.